Hello, glad to have you join us on the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. I am Mariam George Jitubo. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Musa Bello, has advised investors to take advantage of the abundant investment opportunities available in the nation's capital. The minister gave the advice when he received in audience a delegation of investors from the Maxim Investment Group of Egypt who paid him a working visit in Abuja. Shuaibu Noze Yakubu reports.
This visit by the Maxim Investment Group of Egypt to the FCT administration is to strengthen partnership in the areas of real estate, transportation, security, agriculture and mining, among others. FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello disclosed that though Abuja is still a work in progress, there are abundant opportunities for prospective investors.
If you want to do the security, for instance, we already have the statistics for all the street lights in the city. The number, the location, the distance between one street light to the other, the height. So for instance, if we have a relationship with you and we are coming in with a security package to put smart cameras on them, we don't need to make the study because we already have it.
Leader of the delegation, Mohammed Karal, says his team is ready to work with the FCT administration for the overall development of the territory.
They can come, the whole team ready, and they have also finance from the World Bank to make it SBOT, BDB, whatever system we got, and we are ready for it.
The Nigerian partners of the Egyptian firm were also part of the delegation. Shuaibu Noze Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat has stepped up its annual campaign to sensitize farmers on FCT harvest management practices. Acting Secretary of the Secretariat, Ishaq Abubakar Sadiq, said that the timing was strategically planned to assist farmers on best economic practices as they set out to commence harvest on their various farms. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports on the flag-off of the sensitization campaign in Gwagwalada Area Council.
The objective of the sensitization campaign is to timely reach out to hardworking farmers in order to equip them with knowledge that will help in storage, preservation, and ensure that they reap the reward of their labor. The Acting Secretary, FCT Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat, Ishaq Abubakar Sadiq, called on farmers to adhere to the recommended practices and always seek the assistance of the Secretariat to guide them whenever the need arises.
The Secretariat will continue to explore all available opportunities to reach out to various stakeholders such as cooperative group, women in agri, youth, as well as other relevant organizations towards not only promoting practice but enhancing their access to organic products.
Director Agricultural Services Francisca Ihekando revealed that the Secretariat has joined other countries of the world in the practice of organic agriculture.
To avoid the use of synthetic compounded fertilizers, pesticides, and growth regulators. It is a holistic production management system which enhances agro-ecosystem health, utilizing both traditional and scientific knowledge.
Expressing appreciation on behalf of FCT farmers, Sarikin Noma Salihu called on the Secretariat to always ensure the availability of the products at affordable rates to enhance access by farmers. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
And now to education. Following an appeal made by the FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello to the Nigerian Union of Teachers FCT wing to call off the indefinite industrial action embarked upon by local education authority teachers, Hadiza Godwin Ebune visited some schools for an update.
The FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello promises that all modalities will be worked out for both parties to come to a logical conclusion in order for FCT pupils to return back to school to meet up with the actual academic calendar.
Stakeholders here, including His Royal Highness, the Chairman of the Council of Chiefs, the owner of Abuja, and the leaders of the religious groups, and everybody used the opportunity to appeal to the teachers to go back to school, because
The bedrock of our education is the primary school system.
But despite the appeal from the FCT minister, a visit to some FCT schools shows that the local education authority teachers did not heed to the appeal, as the classrooms remain empty and devoid of activities. Stakeholders in the education sector are calling on the relevant authorities to resolve the matters amicably soonest. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
And starting from the cradle by appointing and raising great leaders that will impact the society positively was the reason for the inauguration of the Interact Club of Army Day Secondary School, Mogadishu Cantonment. Our correspondent reports that the inauguration was sponsored by the Rotary Club of Abuja Central Business District.
The president who will be taking through the guidelines of how to anchor a meeting or how.
As the president of Interact Club, I hereby call this meeting to order.
The motto, service above self, has laid a foundation for these young ones who are between the ages of 14 and 18. They are expected to pilot the affairs of the Interact Club for 1 year, be of good conduct, and great ambassadors of the Rotary Club. The club will also help them develop leadership skills that will help them do better in future.
To lead by example, to lead the people, the students, doing good things, maybe cleaning the environment, yes, and respect elders.
What's expected for me as a vice president is to also work with the president and not only follow him. I should also make my own laws, rules, which will help and develop our school better.
We're advising them to sit down in the class, take their studies serious so that they will not be found repeating. Since they are paid they paid their school fees for them, they should work very hard so that they could get other benefits from the Rotary Club.
And in commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child, girls were advised to value themselves and be modest.
We want them to build the habits of taking care of themselves and basically keeping their environments clean and becoming leaders who will impact positively in the society and the world at large.
We have come here to encourage the students to be the best they can be, never to relent, never to look down on themselves, especially the girl child, that they can achieve anything they set their minds to do.
To promote self-hygiene, sanitary towels were distributed to the girls. Waste bins and ceiling fans were also donated to the school. Mariam George. More than 100 Yoruba men and women resident in Abuja have been empowered with a view to putting the youth at the center of personal and community development. Rosemary Moltelembila reports that this was the focus of the Amak Yoruba community when it marked the anniversary of an empowerment series at the Lagos House, Abuja.
The initiative, founded in 1994, is an effort of accomplished Yoruba professionals from various sectors who are united by a common goal to seek development for the people through capacity building and wealth creation.
The fact that some of them that we think they have are now reaching out to those that are less privileged makes me happy.
And this is not the first time to empower people, to encourage them, and to let government also know that people can come together and help. Everything does not depend on government.
In giving back to society, the Amak Yoruba community urged beneficiaries to make judicious use of the items while calling on the youth to use their skills to forge a partnership that will bring about innovation and improvement to ways of doing things.
It fits within our people that those that are lack one or two things, they cannot cope with the situation of the country. Nowadays, pay their school fees, pay the children, feeding their children. We now look at it that we need to empower them so that to reduce poverty within our people.
The main purpose is that we come together as one body to know ourselves. That's the first thing. Secondly, so that we can help the less privileged in our midst in terms of getting empowerment for them, just like the one we're doing today. This is how we do it every year. So we always fix it at the end of the year so that we choose the less privileged in our midst. So that
advice to them is to make use of whatever they must have gotten from here, because we will advise them not to sell them, because they could use this to make up, at least to make ends meet. They should not afford to sell them. They should make sure that they use them for exactly what it's meant for.
The group advocated skills utilization in nation building. Rosemary Molteleng, Bilal, NTA News.
Now to update on COVID-19. Figures from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, as at 28th November 2021, indicate 6 new cases of COVID-19 in the FCT. The number of confirmed cases stands at 23,497, while active cases now 76, and the number of discharged cases stands at 23,197, and 224 deaths have been recorded in the Federal Capital Territory.
Move now! The red light won't kill you! Move now!
To they disobey traffic law, they cause accidents. Me, I don't talk, say I no go dey do am again, because change begins with me.
Let's cross the other side of the road. I will no longer endanger my life crossing the express. Instead, I will use the bridge, because change begins with me.
Oga driver, stop this bus now, won't come down. I be one carry me past where they go.
Make I dey stop anyhow for road, they cause traffic wahala and accidents. So I go dey stop for the right bus stop, because change begins with me.
Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Glad to have you back. Former Governor of Niger State, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, has called on media practitioners to disseminate information that will build the unity, progress, and prosperity of the nation as people listen more to the media now more than ever. Dr. Babangida Aliyu was speaking at the first edition of Zuma Times Award of 100 Top Personalities in the FCT. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
The award was of different categories for prominent Nigerians who have impacted the society positively. Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, who expressed delight that young people are now taking over the responsibility of attempting to correct the wrongs in the society, added that this event will encourage others to believe that they have one or two things to do to help the nation grow.
So the voting was based on the information available to the voter, and I believe that is what has happened, and believe me, if we continue this way, we'll get it right.
Minister of Communication Issa Ali Pantami represented, advised that Zuma Times should use unique passwords for each account.
Also, in cases where it is difficult to remember this password, a password manager can be used. This applies to your digital devices as well.
As one of the 100 personalities selected, I was so surprised too, because whatever you are doing, you should know that people are watching you over there.
Zuma Time is one person's group of media team that have been working with the grassroots in trying to ascertain people that are silently doing things their ways.
Executive Director News, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Mohammed Labo, represented by the Director News, NTA, Halima Musa, commended the Editor-in-Chief and her crew for the giant strike.
I have seen a couple of their works, and I know that they have done a lot towards sensitizing and mobilizing the society towards addressing the issues or the problems we face generally.
The editor-in-chief of Zuma Times, Mero Moody, narrates how it all started.
Zuma Times is an online media that we disseminate news, and then at this stage we thought we should go a little bit further, but because we have a lot of followers, we publish their news. So our fans wanted to bring outdoors. It was like just a joke. It started, but we took them serious.
Zuma Times was created to ginger those making a difference for the betterment of the people. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Izumba, NT News.
Similarly, the FCT Education Resource Center has rewarded excellence exhibited to its staff and its promoter, the Nigerian Television Authority, as well as other stakeholders in the education sector. Hadiza Godwin-Ebune was at the award ceremony and now reports.
The FCTA Permanent Secretary, Olushade Adeshola, who was represented, says Education Resource Center has consistently delivered on its mandate of building and developing capacities within organization in the education sector and remained driven by the excellence, hence the need to encourage its staff.
This event, as you can see, is a morale booster to staff. It encourages staff to unite as a family, to chart common cause, and believe in themselves.
As appreciative management, at times like this, you call them out to express appreciation, to recognize their hard work.
The Award of Excellence, the Director, Education Resource Center, Ajia Nimat Abdurrahim, says recognizes those who have made an outstanding contribution to the development of education and appealed to award recipients to continue to give their support to the educational growth.
Management staff of the ERC feel that it's not only the staff of the center that deserve award, and we feel that it's a way of saying thank you, appreciating the permanent secretary for his support to the mandate of the ERC.
Some of the awardees say that the award will spur them to work harder in order to achieve one of the education development goals, which is education for all.
What this award is trying to remind me is that I'm being appreciated.
I appreciate Almighty Allah for the strength He has accorded me to have gone this far.
The Nigerian Television Authority was also recognized for its outstanding and unbiased reportage. Hadiza Godwin-Ebune, NTA News.
And it was a celebration of humanity and service to one's fatherland as the Director, Finance and Accounts, FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Mohammed Ibrahim Sabo, bagged an award as the Best Public Servant of the Year 2021. Again, Hadiza Godwin-Ebune has more.
The Director of Finance and Accounts, FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Mohammed Ibrahim Sabo, was honored by Aluta News and received the Best Public Servant of the Year 2021 award. Visibly elated, the director says the health and well-being of financial services of the board is everyone's responsibility and enjoined all present to help build and develop the education sector.
The award, as it is now, will ginger one and at the same time make one to at least ensure that you put in more commitment and ensure that you do your best wherever you find yourself. Your best in the sense that you should be able to inspire others. Not only inspiring others, you should be able to provide a guide for the younger ones that are coming up.
Other awardees and guests say the awards, which are of different categories, shows that the country is making progress.
I feel that this is an opportunity for me to do more for the youths, to mentor them, to be able to overcome the challenges of today.
That is a wake-up call to all civil servant and political office holder to make sure that they did good because people are watching.
The Aluta News says the recognition of the awardees is to spur them to do more with the hope that many will emulate their sterling leadership qualities. Hadiza Godwin-Ebune, NTA News.
Residents of Gwarimpa First Avenue have called on the FCT authority to help address some portion of roads that has continued to cause traffic congestion. Ilyas Onotu Yakubu has the details.
Generally, the roads are a nightmare for users plying the roads. Potholes litter the kilometer-stretch access road at intervals, and so vehicles are constrained to either gallop through or force maneuver around the numerous spots over and again. This development, residents lament, usually cause long stretch of traffic gridlocks during rush hours. Occasionally, volunteers such as Abdullahi Abubakar will fill the potholes, but that does not suffice the challenges, as the debris are soon dug out by vehicles driving through them.
Basically, we try to find shorter routes away from these potholes so that we don't go into traffic during work hours like mornings and then closure during the evenings. And the potholes, you in Gwarimpa, you can't even dodge. You can't miss it. So it's basically one of the things that is discouraging some people from coming to live in Gwarimpa. The estate is okay, but the roads are bad.
The implication, we normally go to mechanic every time because of alignment, some rebalancing and other things. As you are going inside the pothole, your motor will be developing some fault.
While road users lament the hardship resulting from the failed portions, managers of traffic in the territory advised that patience for those behind the wheels is paramount to a well-coordinated drive through the roads.
We desire that they exercise some patience as the staff deployed to those locations are managing the traffic.
Once you have a bad situation ahead of you, what you need to do is to slow down and see how you can enter it where the traffic is not heavy.
Residents appealed to the FCT authorities to give necessary attention to the roads in the estate to ease traffic management for all. Ilyas Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Talking sport, Chelsea drops 2 points as they were held to a 1-1 draw by Manchester United at Stamford Bridge, and Tyson Fury is not ruling anyone out as he wants to return to ring early 2022. Details with John Ojo on Sports Brief.
Nigeria's D Tigers on Sunday beat Uganda 95-69 to lead in the first round in Group A of the African qualifiers for 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup. Although the game saw tough fights from the Ugandans, but the Nigeria side were unstoppable for victory. Moving on, Manchester United held Chelsea to a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge on Sunday as Jadon Sancho scored the opening goal for the Red Devils. It was apparent within the few seconds of kickoff that Manchester United intended to approach their games at Chelsea a little differently, with Cristiano Ronaldo starting from the bench. In boxing, training partner David Yinka says Tyson Fury isn't ruling anything out in the hunt for his next opponent because he calls the shots. Fury wants to return to the ring in early 2022, but is waiting to confirm his next defense of the WBC heavyweight title after last month's knockout win over Deontay Wilder. To tennis, US Open champion Emma Raducanu says she is ready to improve and get better ahead of her first full season of the tour. The British teenager was in buoyant mood after playing for the first time in home soil since her historic Flushing Meadow trump. With Sports Brief, John Ojo, NTA News.
And before we go, do remember to take your COVID-19 vaccine and adhere strictly to safety protocols to keep safe. And that concludes the 1 p.m. news. Thank you for watching. Join us at 7 for more. Good afternoon.